Yeah, really excited to see what's going to happen because it's been super tight racing so far, and now we're going into a class where they've seen four other categories compete already, so they know the ins and outs of this course. They know where the difficult parts are, where people are losing time, picking up penalties. So I think we're in for a really tight race here.
And we've known this course is very boily, very bubbly, very changeable. Is that the situation this morning? Is it changing quite a bit still?
Yeah, Tacen's always a little bit like that. You know, you've got a lot of the rocks in the middle of the river, which it does mean the flow kind of builds up and then falls off them, and it just means for a bit of surgy water. So, especially around the section kind of from like 8-9 downwards, it's pretty surgy, and you've got to just be ahead of the game and looking ahead and making sure that you know what's coming up and you're in control.
Well, you'll be able to see, looking at the screen, this is the order of the athletes who are going to be performing today. 20 teams going down. Tia Leroux from France, who are leading the overall cup standings. They've had 2 victories so far.
Yeah, they've been on fine form this year with their victories as well were absolute stunning performances. So really excited to watch these boys race again.
And yesterday in the crowd, we frequently saw Stott and Bailey, who are the 2012 Olympic champions. What are they doing here? Just having a party?
Yeah, they wanted to come and watch. You know, this is probably, like, I guess we don't know the situation with C2 going into next season, and this could be the last kind of World Cup. Certainly the last one that's going to be so hotly contested at such a high level. Yeah, they didn't want to miss out on that. You know, former Olympic champions, and those guys that they live and breathe it. They absolutely love Canoe and they absolutely love C2, and yeah, they just really wanted to be here for this race, and it's great to have them here supporting the British team as well.
So you're an established youngster. That's not too rude. So you probably grew up in the shadow of watching them prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's 2 not-so-youngsters, 31, 36 years old. It's Betge, Schroeder. Both had individual long careers as different partners and soloists, and now they're together for a couple of years.
Yeah, and we saw Nico racing yesterday in the C1 men final as well, so he certainly knows this course well. And yeah, they're on good form this season as well, picking up a medal at the European Championships at the start of the season, and they've been paddling well through the World Cup circuit so far. And so far, they've got the top drop right there, which is always a worry when you're on the start line. So they've got off to a solid start here.
So can you effectively break the race down? You have to manage the first drop, then after that you do the rest of the race?
Yeah, definitely. Your race can certainly be over by gate 1, and we saw it happen to a few people yesterday. And you know, it's a flat water sprint, and you want to go off the start hard, but then you've also got to make sure you're composed and you're in the right place coming down that drop, and you really just nail that line from 1 to 2. And then yeah, you just get into it then, and they picked up a penalty there on it's like gate 9, is that gate 7, gate 8? There it is. Tricky one that for the C2s. We saw some of the individual boats having some trouble there, so to fit 2 bodies through that is going to be a big ask.
Only 4 upstreams, and there's tricky offset section, you said, and then it seems that what we've looked at so far is the last section, the last 3 gates haven't really set that many challenges. It's been, once you're through upstream 11, it hasn't been much time changing hands.
Yeah, probably not. I think that's to be expected. There's not too much of a technical challenge there, and considering it's the end of the course, but because it's so short, it's actually a lot of power still in the arms, so we shouldn't see too many mistakes down there.
86.49. Would you predict a 70s to win?
In the 70s, wow, I think that would be a pretty sensational run. I'd like to see her run in the 70s from a C2. There you go, the challenge is set. That would be pretty incredible to watch, I think. I think that's a solid run, but the 2-second penalty, you know, 2 seconds when the course is so short is massive, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to afford that touch.
And it's Wang and Zi from China. We saw 3 Chinese boats last weekend in the semi-finals, one making through to the finals.
Yeah, the Chinese were awesome last week in Prague, and again we see 3 Chinese crews in the semi-finals again. So will we see another one break into the top 10 again?
Did you manage to communicate?
No, so yeah, I know we said last week we don't really know these guys too well, and so again haven't really managed to make contact this week, and already getting into a little bit of trouble there between gates 3 and 4, but it looks like they've settled the ship and they're holding it together.
So I suppose the best way to make themselves known is to put some good performances in, and then people will try and speak to David Florence and say, can you translate?
Yeah, definitely. Results definitely talk, and yeah, people will want to know. Oh, again having a bit of trouble, but they've done this move forward, which is really nice. We saw Schroeder Becker choose the spin option there, and These guys have gone for the forwards and then spin on the next gate, which that looks like that's worked quite a touch there on gate 10. Again, I think they're going to struggle to absorb that. 2 seconds is quite a long time when you're only talking 80-second course.
I was speaking to Rafa Smolan, who's designed the course a couple of days ago, and he said it's lots of offsets, and it's really going to give the athletes options of what they do, how they do it. So expecting to see many different. Is that the win? No, it's a bit of a whack on the front. So 4 seconds will put you out of the game.
Yeah, the last upstream there, they touched, and I think they're probably out of it.
Two teams, have gone down so far.
Yeah, this section through 7, 8, 9, 10 is going to be interesting for the C2s. There's a number of different options there, all 3 gates, potential spins. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose, and that will obviously differ between the crews that paddle back left or back right as well. This crew we're just seeing back left here with a touch on gate 10.
So any regrets that you and Brad aren't out there? Sorry,
Yeah, I miss paddling C2. Yeah, every time I watch it, I'm always thinking, it'd be nice to be racing, but yeah, I'll still get in a C2 from time to time, I think now, just for the fun. Now these boys, it's great to see these boys back racing again. So European champions this year, and then I think straight into the real world of work. But they're back for the final World Cup, and let's see if they can repeat their early form from the season.
What do they do?
I'm not entirely sure. I think one of them has gone into sales, maybe cars, and the other one's going into some management role, I think. I'm not entirely sure of the details, but yeah, they're on a good run so far. So choosing the forwards option again, I think that's a good option there for the C2s. From the outside, it might seem like the spin option is easier, but actually, when it's in the eddy and you've got to move downstream, that can be really difficult, especially with 2 people. And at least with the forwards, you can always see where you're going and spot the line and make sure you go through the gate first and turn afterwards. And it's worked well for these boys, and they're clean still. Going into this last section, I think this is a solid run coming together here.
Well, they had many points a couple of years ago when they managed to fish out Etienne Stodd out of the water when he dislocated his shoulder. They pulled him out of the water. But let's see where he's going to be now, and it's significantly ahead. Yeah,
into first. Just over a second, but remember Schroeder Becker had a touch, so not the fastest time we've seen so far, but that's a very solid run, and I think that can be competitive.
Well, the Slovaks, they all turn out well. We're
Yeah,
quite lucky this year, because last year we had the Slovenian fan club just sitting in front of us.
You
So
wouldn't be able to see or hear very much.
I've seen nothing, but today it's a little bit quieter. Next to go, second Chinese crew, Jiang Deng.
Charging hard off the start here. I think it's really important that you make the most of that sprint, but then also you relax just there and spot this line. And they're up onto the pile there, which is nice. It's a good start. Strong inside blade there from the back man for the first upstream. And into this. This is a tricky feature move here. And it's not easy coming from the tight exit of gate 2 as well. And they've done that really well. Really well here. It's definitely time to be gained and lost on this section as well. Around the rock, it's pretty shallow. The flow's shifting around a lot. It's one of those areas, like we talked about, that you've got to look ahead and spot what the water's doing, because you might have to take a slightly different line to what was in your plan.
So I suppose that's the beauty of the course, and very much in touch, less than a second off the pace.
Yeah, this is solid. This is a solid start. Good spin there. They're going to be tight on this one. Yeah, just struggling there a little bit. But they're staying clean, and that's really important today, I think. Really important.
So with the changing speeds of the water, you really need to keep in the fast flow.
Definitely, yeah. You've got to look out for it and spot it. In that section through 10, 11, it changes so much. You've really got to stay ahead of the game. Option for the punt there for the lefty. He's gone for that. Oh, it looks like he's clipped it. Maybe on the way out. That's 2-second penalty, and that's pushed them the deficit further, 1.76, but then the touch as well. So almost 4 seconds down.
So deliberately went for the punt, but at the same time was it very, very expensive.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch to the wall. Not quite as far for the C2s, but yeah, you've got to be very wary of that outside pole when you're going for the wall like that.
Next to go, Karlovsky, Jane, one of the most exciting paddling combinations with a very flashy boat.
Definitely, yeah. You can't miss these guys coming. Bright yellow boat, boat of their own design, I think, as well. And yeah, regulars on the World Cup final, regulars on the podium. Always good C2 crews from Czech Republic. And let's see what they can do today. Really good there, right over to the wall. That's the really sweet line. That's what we want to see, is they get right over to the wall before gate 1, and they're actually set their angle, and they're pointing left as they go through it. And
last weekend they actually took the bronze medal with 4 seconds of penalties, which shows they're fast.
yeah, definitely so much raw pace in these guys, but maybe just you know, on the edge maybe of what's possible, and it's so exciting to watch. But yeah, maybe prone to a few mistakes, but so far they're doing really well.
Well, surprisingly, then slightly back on the split.
Actually, yeah, 2 seconds down. I think maybe that could have been between gates 3 and 4, that curl move. But you know, they're still in touch. Nice and clean through there, and they've kept the boat speed well. Good upstream on gate 12. I think maybe they could have shortened that deficit a little bit. So they charge through here now. Important to get the boat up to speed here.
So
Good last upstream, really good on the punt there, and tight exit there with the crossbow.
move into provisional first place, but they look like they have some regrets.
Yeah, really good bottom section that, which rescued them somewhat, but yeah, maybe they've left the door slightly open there, but I think that's a competitive time for the final.
Well, 5 teams gone, and it's going to be the 3rd Chinese crew, so it's very much a case of let's start to understand the Chinese strengths.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good to see some nations that we don't generally see doing well in canoe slalom performing at this level. So,
So
yeah,
did they spend a lot of time in Europe? Did they train together? Do you know much about them?
I think so. Yeah, they we see bits and bobs of them, but they come and go. The teams interchange quite a lot, and yeah, they'll be around for a few years, and then they'll have a new team. But yeah, their training, they do a lot of physical work. As you can tell, this guy in the front looks really
Very
strong.
powerful. That's Ewan, sorry, it's Ewan Chen.
Yeah, they're really powerful guys, all of them. You see them training a lot on the flat water, coaches using whistles, lots of like repeat sprint work, so that they're well conditioned, which in C2, you know, there's a lot of different ways to do it, like there is in every class, but C2 is one of those that you could muscle, and these guys are looking like they're trying to do that, and they've picked up a touch there at gate 5. Really smacked into that pole, and that's going to show on the split here now.
But so much in touch, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh.
It's not what they want to do.
Oh yeah, they were kind of in touch there. They 2 seconds down, but that was all the penalty really. But yeah, caught some edges there, crossing that stopper, and picked up another penalty. It looks like this run is getting away from them. I'm not sure there's enough run left now to absorb that time.
So 3 Chinese crews in the final for the 2nd week in a row in the semi-final, which is very, very good stuff. So far, Koloska Yanni 84.8, but they've crucially were first 2 pairs down have been clear.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a clean run required to win this race today.
10 seconds back, so it's all from a wonderful start. It all really disintegrated a bit in the second half.
Yeah, very, very easy for that to happen on a place like Tacen. You cannot do much wrong, and you can ask yourself, what did I do wrong? And the water's kind of had its way with you, and that's what's happened to these boys, unfortunately, today.
But you just see the definition there. There's some power.
Yeah, definitely. Looks a really strong guy. Awesome slow-mo shots here we're getting today.
Now it's McEwen Eichfeld, and Eichfeld sitting in the back won a bronze medal yesterday.
Yeah, Casey Eichfeld won a bronze medal yesterday in the C1. I believe that's his first World Cup medal, which I was quite surprised to hear, because he's been on the circuit for so long.
This year he's really stepped up, hasn't he? 3 Olympic Games, 4th in the world last year.
Yeah, definitely. He's been flying, and you know, he's a consistent performer. He's got a lot of raw pace, and let's see if he can bring that into the C2 as well. And it looks like they're off to a really good start.
And they're in the Olympic boat here. Devon's father Jamie also was a top paddler.
Oh yeah, just slipped out there on really tricky that to hold that line, and they picked up a penalty on the Casey's back, but they're actually
in touch, aren't they? Timing.
Yeah, they're in touch, and that was a very, very nice forwards through there. So it's maybe not all lost, even with the 2-second penalty. Just got to make sure they're really good on this last section now, though.
So they're great ambassadors because it's quite a low-key sport in the US, and they do stacks of stuff on social media.
At the moment, maybe, yeah, but you know, back through the 80s and 90s, you know, the American C1s in particular were absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Casey definitely trying to bring that back a little bit. 5 seconds down. I don't think we're going to see these boys again in the final, unfortunately.
Good family present here.
Yeah, we just get to see a repeat of the penalty they picked up here. So Devin working hard to hold that inside pole, but the water's so powerful, moving around to the right-hand side, that it's just scooped the back of the boat out in case he's picked up that touch there. Really unlucky for those guys.
Next to go, Brazil represented, and it's Carrera and Oliveira.
Yeah, another really exciting crew to watch. Really, they always charge hard. These boys go for it. I remember watching them in Prague last week, and they went off the start so hard. You know, they really want it. I don't think they've been in a World Cup final yet. Maybe in a Ivrea actually this season, but definitely not consistent finalists. And we'll be keen to try and get into this one today. And already they've come into trouble here. The tricky one, that exit from gate 2 and the move using the stopper 3 to 4. It's Yeah, they've struggled there, and more time slipping away, I think, around the rock. But do really well to hold that inside pole. Let's see what it looks like on the split.
23, 24 years old, so they're fast though. Look, well, they were fast, but it's all fallen apart.
Yeah, young pairing. Competed at the Olympic Games this year, home Olympics as well. Must have been an amazing experience for them.
The semi-finals came 11th, but there's a 50-second penalty, and like you said, they came 9th in Ivrea. That's their best result so far this season.
Yeah, unfortunately though, I don't think we're going to see them making another World Cup final with that 50-second penalty showing, and the time losses as well. Just finishing the run-off now. Good punt there in the last upstream. Working hard to the finish.
If it actually came off, would they be in touch?
Yeah, even without the 50, they're 6 seconds down. I think the time loss through there, 3-4, and then again at 8. A bit too much to ask for now. Just scouting that line there on the top drop. Really important they get that right and get the run off to a good start. We've not seen any drama up there yet, actually, in the C2s. All
Also,
the C2s
pretty
in
much
that line.
Yesterday, it's been not a disappointment. It's been great, but even today with the K1 women, pretty much everyone came down. It's the Muller twins, Kai, Kevin.
Yeah, the Mullers, gangsters of C2 canoe slalom.
The gangsters.
Yeah, it's the Planet Canoe video made out in Australia last winter. That's their title now, and yeah, paddling the boat they've designed themselves. The girls put Wanted, really popular design, and yeah, definitely got a very individual style, as well as like I'm referring to their technical style, but actually their style as well. Like with the pink paddles, it's very striking, and yeah, so far as well, pretty good run coming together so far. I think they lost a bit of time moving from 1 to 2, but.
And they're quite lethal on their longboards as well. Well, look at that. They're second up.
Oh,
they're just giving it back.
Yeah, they were a second up, but 2-second penalty there picked up on gate 8. Another crew coming into trouble on this tricky section.
Because last couple of years, they've always been finishing either 10th place or 14th. They're really, really close to the bubble. They haven't quite managed to break into the top 3 yet.
Yeah, they always seem to be right on the edge of finals. They're either in it or not, and yeah, that touch could cost them. But actually, they were a second up, so let's see if they can put a good end to this run together. And
no one's really taken the course apart yet. Karlovsky clear in 84, and there's a 5-second gap to 5th place. So they move into new 5th place.
Yeah, so 5th place, but quite a lot of crews left to go, so I'm not sure we're going to see these guys later either, but you never know what's going to happen, especially on this course in Tacen.
11. There's the judges. 11 athletes, 11 crews left to go, so it's flying through quickly.
You're really tricky there for the CTs. You've got to guide that bow in between the poles because it's going to be in the air. It's hard to go under them. You've got to go through them. And
Who do we see now?
Yeah, Polish crew, really exciting. I saw these boys warming up on the flat, and they generate some serious speed on the flat. Shorter course today, and I think these boys are going to charge the whole way down. We actually used to, our world ranking was very similar when I competed with Greg in the C2 as well, and we used to follow these boys down quite a lot, or they'd follow us, and yeah, we see them on the start line, and they sprint so hard, and it's very different to our style, and it was, yeah, it was quite, we were almost thinking, oh, like, are we going to have to paddle that hard? Because it was quite scary to watch for us, yeah. Always really conditioned paddlers, the Polish. Very, very strong athletes, very good moving the boat forwards. And yeah, a lot of history in C2 as well. And so far, this is looking really good, a second up.
Well, in Krakow, they have their winter-protected indoor arena, don't they, almost?
Yeah, they have a tent over the slalom course, so it's still very cold, but protection from the wind, which is really what gets you in.
Well, expensive 2-second penalty, but
Yeah.
they were second up, but now they're giving it back.
Yeah, they probably find themselves just down now, but maybe only a second if they matched Karskiane otherwise.
So almost halfway through.
I think that might have been another 2-second penalty. Yeah, gate 13, just on the back of the back man there. Really unfortunate touch to pick up. He probably doesn't know he's hit that.
Coming to initial 6th place, Miguel Grigors.
I think they might have gone into 5th minor without that touch at the end there. See Lizzie leave, and our coach Mark Domenjo scouting out the course, ready for finals. Really excited to see her race later on.
So you're giving Mark quite a lot of credit yesterday for helping you guys.
Yeah, so he's had a great season in terms of his group. You know, myself, Bradley, and Lizzie, all paddling really well. Me and Bradley on the overall podium. Bradley on the podium for the first time, silver medal yesterday.
He's due in here to commentate the K1. He said if he wakes up.
Okay, I've seen him this morning, so yeah, he should be here later.
The brothers Lucas and Simon went to the Olympics, just missed out last weekend. They came 12th in the qualification, in the semi-finals.
Yeah, another really exciting crew. Really happy to see these boys race at the Olympic Games. Really amazing opportunity for those guys, and they nailed that line on the top drop. They really got over to the wall well. And they've got the good right hand blade there in the back for this curl move, and that's really good. And they're away really fast as well. Good start coming together for the Werrow brothers.
So again, they've been making many semi-finals. They just need the next kick forward.
Yeah, definitely. And it is a bit of a jump from making semi-finals to making finals. And they're a second up, so this is looking really good for them. Can they do this tricky section?
I'm just pleased we don't have Thomas Coughlin commentating.
Yeah, he's always very nervous
vibrating.
watching these boys go down. You know, must be really. I don't know these guys very well, but they must be really nice guys. And Swiss team, quite small team, but yeah, Thomas really roots for these boys.
So far, looking good. We saw them a second up, clean.
Clean run, and they're charging hard. This is looking really good. Choose to stay on the sweep, not go for the punt. It's going to be tight.
Well, move it to third, 0.43 back, so it's starting to group at the top. We do know that Karlovsky Jani have qualified, first team through to qualify.
Yeah, so we're starting to see the queues appearing now. So, yeah, at third place with 9 to go, I think, you know, they're going to be on the bubble. They're in that kind of, that 8th to 12th kind of region. But, yeah, that looked like a really solid run for these guys.
Skinamenico Cahel, one of the French flyer teams.
Yeah, and pretty devastated, I think, to miss out on the semi-final last week. They've been in fine form this year, taking the win in Ivrea, the first World Cup. Double points this weekend, so a lot to play for.
50 points back from Tia Leroux, and as you mentioned, it's double points.
Yeah. Hugo in the back celebrated his birthday this week out in Tacen. Yeah, this is it's tricky upstream for the back right crews. Really hard to hold that line, and they've slipped a little bit and lost some time there. Just taking their time to make sure they get this right, although they've actually taken a bit too much wave, and yeah, bits of time just creeping away for them in the upstream. So, but you know, they're an amazing crew, and I'm sure they can hold this together and put a good second 2/3 onto this run. Can they guide it through? They're only half a second back, so they've got a lot of raw pace. This is good.
So the middle section they've been making up some time.
Oh, and was that a touch on the outside pole? The pole's definitely moving. Yeah, the judges think so. I think that was Hugo in the back, just with his paddle. It's tricky there when you pull in really hard in those situations to get away, and it's fine lines between these poles. The penalty's gone off now, so maybe it wasn't a touch. Maybe that was a water splash. Yeah.
There's absolutely no wind whatsoever. It's starting to maybe light clouds, but it's no. And they're again close to the others. They're all starting to group now and move into fourth. Only 1 1/3 seconds back.
Shake of the head there. He's not happy, Nico in the front. I think they know they've left the door open a little bit and it's going to be tight.
They're walking along, preparing, and we do now have 2 crews qualified. So Karlovsky Jani, Kuchera Batik from the Slovak Republic getting a... it's quite funny. You actually said almost in horror, they've got a job.
Yeah.
Alan Burgess from Great Britain, living the dream.
Scary prospect when you're a full-time athlete, the real world.
Berling Becker now, they've had some good results. So you mentioned last week they have a few challenges with injuries.
Yeah, they've definitely struggled through the years, varying injuries and illnesses, and but fantastic crew, and every time they come back and they get a solid block of training, they're right up there with the best in the world.
Fourth in the overall, fifth in the overall standings. It's about 40 points back. So Tia Leroux are a little bit ahead of Schroeder Betke.
Yeah, but definitely a lot to play for.
And Schroeder Betke, 5th place at the moment, so they'll be hoping for a final. Building back and forward, European champions.
That's good there. Really good there to hold that inside pole and hold that line, and I think we're going to see them up on the split.
They're looking good, aren't they?
Yeah, second up, full second. Can they guide it through here? Yeah, you see front boy there really concentrating hard to guide the bow through in between the poles to stay clean. Tricky spin. Again. Oh, so squashing that bow down to make sure they didn't take the touch, but then actually slipping out and taking the touch on the outside pole. It's an unfortunate penalty there. They're going to need to charge hard now if they want to make up that deficit of 2 seconds.
Top 4 teams so far have been clean, but they're looking fast.
Yeah, they've definitely got raw pace. They haven't kept it clean, and they might pay for that. It's going to be tight.
Well, it's really starting to group. 3 teams have now qualified, and the Wero brothers are through to possibly the first final. Well done.
Yeah, that's a really good result for them. Thomas will be smiling for sure. Berling Becker on the bubble. Nico Hugo from France on the bubble. They need 1 boat to go in behind them to qualify.
So we have the golden pair of the moment coming down next with the Scant cousins.
The Olympic champions, reigning Olympic champions. Really exciting crew. They've been around for so long. Ranked number 1 in the world right now. Maybe been a little bit in the shadow of the Hoshona brothers from Slovakia. They've not been able to compete at the Olympic Games because the Hoshona brothers kept going, but this year, they earned the right. They won their selection series and they went and they won. So absolutely awesome, really good result for these guys.
And what we saw last weekend was in the final, they looked so hungry still.
Yeah, definitely. It was really good to see. A lot of the boats that compete in the Olympic Games and won medals, they haven't actually raced the last 2 World Cups. But
some superstars just turned up to do a couple of interviews from the UK. This weekend.
So we've seen Olympic champion Joe Clark is here in the stands watching, but not competing today. And it's really good when you see these guys. They must absolutely
look at that.
4 seconds up. That's a huge advantage for at this stage of the run. They just need to be solid now. No major errors, and surely they're through to the final. Absolute supreme show of canoe slalom from the reigning Olympic champions.
As we do have quite a lot of pairs who are brothers, who's actually cousins, and the larger little lads in the front. Well, this is good to watch.
Solid last upstream, really
We're
nice.
Going to see someone come in the 70s.
We've seen it. 5 seconds advantage in a race so tight. To take 5 seconds out of every other crew, that is an absolute masterclass of C2 canoe slalom there we've just witnessed. What a run. So even the boats who've qualified for the final, they've got to watch that run. They've got to rethink. We had good runs.
Radically different, or just everything they did well?
They just did everything really well. That boat never stopped moving. They were really tight around the poles. They pinned every upstream, and it's what we'd expect from the Olympic champions. That was awesome.
And it's the Brzezinski brothers.
Yeah, I believe these boys won their first World Cup medal here as well a few years ago, and it was a really exciting one because they ran the final, but the water level changed mid-final, and they had to run the whole final again. And these boys were in the silver medal position after the first final. I was really impressed to see that when they ran the final again, they didn't let the fact that their medal didn't stand. They didn't let that get to them, and they actually finished in the silver medal position again, second time running. So that was a really impressive performance from these boys on Tacen. So we know they can do it here.
No problems with the water levels today, although it's a bit choppy.
Yeah, the water is always changing a little bit, but yeah, with prone to a lot of rain sometimes, and the actual level of the river can change. And they've come into trouble a bit there, but looks like they've done well to get away with it. 2.5 seconds down, but that's off the Scant cousins, who were absolutely awesome. So,
like you mentioned, they were 5.5 seconds up on the field, so that's really nothing to go far. There's still a lot of skates. Skinny and Cahill are in 6th place with 7 seconds back, so you can do a 86 and still come through.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if we're going to see another run as fast as the Scantars. Not in the semi-final at least, but everyone's got a chance to watch the video and see what they did and maybe work out what they did so different that was so amazing.
It's like watching a video of Usain Bolt.
Definitely, yeah.
You can see what he does, but you can't do the same.
Straight into the final in 5th place for the Brzezinski brothers.
Good, so we're going to have some really dynamic crews. Next, we do expect to have a little bit of noise. It is the 2014 World Champions, Bozic, Tayat, who've been a little bit quiet this year.
Yeah, although actually, do we have another Polish crew coming just before them?
So yeah, see if you're still awake.
I think we'd have probably heard the sirens already if we had a Slovenian crew on course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the Polish Olympic nomination from this year.
Stefanski had an outrageous false start last weekend in the slalom cross.
Yeah, he was off the ramp miles before anyone. Yeah, that was quite amusing to watch. And they're charging here off the start. They're going really hard. Yeah, all the C2 crews nailing that line off the drop. It's really difficult there to get over to the wall, but not so difficult for the C2s. The extra weight in the boat maybe helping to really break through that wave and get over there. And that's a good curl move there for the back left crew. Really nice movement there.
You can see they have a good understanding together.
Definitely. Get another crew who've been around on the circuit for quite a long time. Lots of World Cup finals, lots of experience. So yeah, they certainly know what they're doing and they know what's required to make finals.
That's okay. That's equivalent of 2nd or 3rd place.
Yeah, definitely in touch. But another crew who, even if they make the final, they are going to have to look and maybe have a rethink of how are we going to try and catch the Scantar cousins.
Is that realistic there, or do you just not say good luck, let's hope we do our best and leave it to?
Well, we saw a similar thing at the Olympic Games. The Scantars went down fairly early in the final and put a run down that absolutely tore apart everyone's semi-final performances. But then the other crews stepped up. Florence Hounslow very close in 2nd position, taking the silver medal, and the Czech crews as well. Kasper Sindler, they were very close until the last upstream.
So it's not out of it yet. The 6.71 back and going to 5th position. Sorry, they're very much not out of it. They actually qualified for the final.
Yeah, so 2 Polish crews in the final now. Solid performance, but again, they are going to have to look at what the Scantars did, because maybe we're going to need to see a performance that was close to that to get on the podium in the final.
Well, now I think we can say that we can hear a little bit of a noise not too far away. It's Bozic and Taliad from the local boys, and this is where you think those are leaning back. Just watch Luka Bozic in the front.
Yeah, very interesting style, these boys. They paddle C2 different to everyone else, but it's a style that works for them. So much success. World champions back in 2014. I'm guessing very disappointed not to have an Olympic medal on their CV. They've definitely been around and been winning medals for a long time, and yeah, you can see that Luka Bozic leaning back there, ducking around the pole.
And he was very successful in C1 last year, but decided just to concentrate on C2 this year. Be interesting to see what he does next year.
Yeah, definitely. Be interested to see if he continues to paddle C2 or if he wants to commit fully to C1. But this is looking really good so far. I like watching these boys paddle. Luka Bozic in the front always seems very patient, really picks his strokes, and they're always effective.
Well, very much in touch, aren't they?
So 2.5 seconds down. So this is the current 2nd place lead. Oh, and they're coming to trouble. The tail hit the rock, and they're really having to work hard to get over to the eddy. I think they're going to have to work hard now. Need to get that bow down quickly, and maybe the same thing was going through their head, and they've rushed it a little bit, and they've touched the outside pole. They're going to be really up against it now to make the final. We might not have Slovenian interest in the final, which will be a real shame. After such a good day yesterday, winning gold medals in the men's kayak and men's C1.
At the moment, 10th place is 86.87, which is 7 seconds back. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it looks like they're outside.
First disappointment for Slovenia. Well, it is a shame.
Straight into 15th, so yeah, no chance of making the final.
Was that due to the shifty water or nerves?
I think they're moving through gate 8. It looks like they got down through it okay, but then they pivoted too much. They put the tail of the boat too far underwater, and that touched the side, and it stopped the rotation, and they weren't able to get over to gate 9 as quickly as they should have done. And
can you apportion blame for that? Can you say it's an error of technique, or there you go?
Yeah, maybe leaning too much on the downstream edge.
They're very active in the office in Prague, and they came to the finals last week where they made 6th place.
Yeah, racing the finals in Prague, which is an awesome achievement considering they do a lot for the organising of that event as well. So working hard all weekend, and that's a really good start from them. Really nice down the drop and first upstream. They've got the good upstream blade in the back there for the move through 3-4, choosing the crossbow there. You don't see that very often on the upstreams. Solid start, and they're keeping it clean. They're definitely going to want another final here, I think.
Skinny Cahill have come through and qualified. We do have 2 more French pairs to go.
Yeah, Nico and Cahill, Nico and Hugo, they're going to be very happy to be in the final. They're shaking their heads at the finish. They know they've got a bit of work to do, but they have the opportunity to do that now.
Well, we see the young Czechs, they were only 2 seconds back, which means effectively now they're going to be 4 seconds back, which still could put you in 2nd place qualifying.
Yeah, just a little clumsy touch picked up there, but still in touch, very much in touch. Oi, just ducking off that last downstream there. Did well to stay off that pole. Again, choosing the punt. Oh, just a little bit of stalling in there, but yeah, really good pace from the boys to qualify with a touch.
Who's going to be sweating is Berling, Becker, Schroeder, Betke. We have no Germans in the final yet. 2 crews to go.
2 very fast crews. Pico Bizo twice on the World Championships podium, and Thiard Lerouillet, who've been in fine form this year, capable of some extraordinary runs. Maybe they are the crew to challenge that amazing run from the Scantars.
But we saw in 2014, Pico Bizo came under the radar and took the silver medal, was it? And then in 2015 did the same again. So they've really now established as a big pair. And
Definitely.
Klaas Pesch, they're not here this week.
No, Klaas Pesch, so bronze medal at the Olympic Games. It's really nice to see those guys on the podium after a disappointing 4th place for them in London. And yeah, just amazing C2 crews from France. They can bring 4 C2 crews to this World Cup, not bring their Olympic boat, and they've brought 4 amazing crews. So it just shows the depth they've got in France there in the C2 class, as they have in every category.
Pico Bizo doing well so far.
Yeah, it looks like they're just being quite careful here. We saw a similar performance from them last week in the semi-final in Prague. They seem very careful, I think, just making sure they did a good job. I think they know they have a lot of time in hand. They're really fast when they put it down, and they can probably just race in 2nd gear, and they don't need to push it to be in.
Well, 3.6 would be okay. They came just outside the medals in 4th place last weekend in Prague.
Yeah, and that was a really nice pivot turn there. They didn't use too much tail like we saw with Taljet Bozic, and yeah, really solid, really smooth run coming together. I think there's going to be no trouble for these boys. I hope I've not just given the commentator's curse there.
They can't hear you, don't worry.
I think this is a solid performance, and we should see them in the final if they execute this last upstream.
It's rare we've seen the crowd so quiet. They're still trying to digest the fact that Sasso and Bozic have missed out, unfortunately. These will cruise easily through. They look like they have a bit of space there.
Yeah, definitely did that race with a bit more in the tank, but a 5-second deficit is quite a lot, and yeah, I'm sure all the crews are going to be wanting to watch that run from the Scantars, thinking, how did they do that?
Next to go, well, they moved into 2nd place, which means that Schroeder and Betke are out. Sitting in 10th place now is Berling, Becker. Are we going to have a Germans or 3 French crews? It's Patia and Lerouillet.
Yeah, Berling, Becker sat in 10th place. I think they'll be feeling pretty nervous with Thiard Lerouillet left to go. winners from the heats.
And Pierre-Antoine Pat's been busy this weekend. Is he his most weekends?
Yeah, paddles C1 as well, and he was in yesterday's final. So he knows this course well, and he's in good form at the moment. So solid, really nice through there. Good movement right to left, and yeah, they've executed this first upstream really nice. Eden in the back as well, also a really good C1 paddler. And they don't actually spend that much time together in a C2, so it's amazing to see them compete at this level. But you know, two really good C1 paddlers, and I think with C2 sometimes you put two good paddlers in the boat, they're going to make it move fast. And they've got nice styles in C1. Well, they probably complement each other.
Benzon didn't do too badly, did they?
Yeah, they're another crew who both paddle C1, and the split hasn't shown for them there, but I think they were fairly close. But 2-second penalty now. They're going to be.
How much space do we have? We have 86.4 would take them into 10th place, which is 7.4 seconds back.
I think they've been fast enough to do this with a touch, as long as they have no more issues further down. It's going to be tight though.
So you need about 6 seconds after last. You do have
that was a good last upstream.
86.4. That's the one to watch.
Yeah, they're inside. Sigh of relief there. Medan in the back. He knows that penalty could have cost them. But yeah, they live to fight another day. They'll be in the final. Really looking forward to seeing them.
No Germans in the final. Slovakia put on an exhibition with the Scant cousins, coming down in 78.99 clear. We'll see the results on the graphics, but in general it's proved to be quite a tricky course, hasn't it, apart from the Scant course?
Yeah, they've really put on a show. I'm going to go and watch that again before the final. I want to see what they did so different. It was so fast, because that's absolutely an amazing time. Definitely for the C2s, this section 8, 9, 10, 11 causing lots of problems. The section that we talked about earlier, that there's different options of the spins, forwards, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people choose in the final.
Well, here we go, confirmation of who's gone through. Slovakia, France, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Switzerland. Great to see them in the final. Czech again, France, Poland, France. So it's very much a European-dominated final.
Yeah, yeah. Only two crews qualifying with touches. We saw lots of clean runs out there. And there are lots of crews that aren't in the final with penalties. So clean runs the order of the day here for C2.
I guess the surprise and disappointment is Bozic Taliat taking only 2 seconds, but really getting held up there, so they come in 18th place. Where do we go from now? Well, we're going to have a little bit of a break for about 45 minutes when the athletes prepare themselves for the big event of the day, which is going to be the K1 women's final, and then it's going to be the C2. We're just going to be seeing you, so thanks so much for tuning in. Go away, depends what time of the day it is where you are, but have a look at social media, watch the race again if you like Adam does, so we can see what's going forward, and we'll catch you in a few minutes time. Thank you very much.